So, what is the perfect thing that we will learn from the human survival, especially in the Antarctica? As we have discussed before, that Epsley Cherry Gerard survived and his whole team member died in this expedition where they lost in Antarctica. Now we will talk about the another personality which is considered as the most extreme expedition in the history of human survival, especially in the Antarctica. Here the name comes with the character Sir Ernest Shackleton. Under his leadership, there were 28 members of his crew, and all of them survived, even though for their survival they ate their own dogs, they hunted the penguins, and they traveled for over 1300 kilometers on the surface of Antarctica, on the surface of floating water, even though they stuck in the floating ice. Their boot stuck in the floating ice, and under a open small boot they traveled for 1300 kilometers. And the reason that they stuck is because of they got lost on the Antarctica uh, ice. On the Antarctica, they were not reached totally to the surface of the Antarctica, even though they stuck in the ice, and they traveled and they survived and they found their destination. And the most surprising thing is that it was not like Epsley Cherry Garrard that all his team members died but he survived. It is most reliable, which is studied in Harvard schooling system, in military academies, in crisis management researches, that the Ernest Shackleton survived with his 28 members, and none of his crew members died during this expedition. Even though this was not the first expedition of Sir Ernest Shackleton, but he survived under this extreme coolness, this extreme weather, which is impossible for the human beings. Even though the scientists are writing this, that the scientists are writing that Antarctica extreme weather is the test of the human soul. It is not the test of the machines. If we will talk about scientifically, that the scientific reasoning is given by many scientists that if a human being survives in the Antarctica extreme weather, then it is not impossible for the human being to survive on any other planet in the universe. Even though some uh, people, some scientists are giving the uh, resemblance with the weather of Mars, that the Antarctica extreme weather is equivalent to the weather of Mars. So here a lot of the questions arises, and a lot of more uh, introductory phases arises, that how a human can survive in those extreme conditions. Even it is impossible, if you will imagine, even though the publishing authorities and the researcher uh, companies also approved that these expeditions were authentic, and there is nothing wrong and there is nothing unreliable in these expeditions. The main thing which we are going to discuss now is uh, that none of these people has ever claimed that we saw the alien ships, or we saw the unknown creatures, or we saw the another civilizations in Antarctica during the expedition of Epsley Cherry-Garrard, during the expedition of Sir Ernest Shackleton. None of these two men ever claimed that we saw something unknown creatures or something unknown, which is quite different from the human beings. And even though the scientific reasoning claims this, that there are no artificial rays, even though the cosmic rays are noticed in these areas. If we'll talk about the Operation High Jump, that what happened during the Operation High Jump, the Operation High Jump was done by United States of America. During this, they did this operation for the military training. In this Operation I Jump, there are few speculative stories that few soldiers claimed that we saw another civilization who was another creatures which ships were moving in the sky without fans, etc. So, but these claims are written by fictional writers, speculative writers. These claims are not scientific proved, or these are not proved by researches. So here are a lot of more questions arises which shocks the human being, that why and how it's possible for the human being to survive there. But during the Operation High Jump and during the German at the era of Adolf Hitler, they also settled here and they built their camps in here, but they left after facing the extreme weathers. None of those people who practically went there and stayed there, none of them has ever claimed that they saw unknown creatures or unknown things right there. So it's up to you how you will take it. I hope you liked our small research. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Goodbye.